You can tell when someone knows who they are. They move different. And God put something powerful in you. 1 Peter 2:9. You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. I didn't earn this. It was settled before I had a name. So I moved through every room like the outcome's already claimed. Yeah, I'll be honest, there were years I didn't believe that. Woke up every morning with the weight of where I've been at. The voices in my head were louder than the word I'd read, telling me I was too broken, too behind, too far from freed. I look at other people moving with a confidence I lack and wonder what they carried that I couldn't seem to tap. Was it upbringing, was it gifting, was it something in the blood? Or was I just a man who kept on sinking in the mud? I performed the confidence because I needed them to buy it. But alone inside the dark I couldn't keep myself quiet. The doubts were coming layers in the silence in the night, asking who do you think you are to walk into that light? I built my identity on outcomes and on wins, on what I've done correctly in the absence of my sins. So every failure was a verdict, every loss a definition. I was always one mistake away from losing my position. But I move like I'm chosen, not because I've never been broken, because something was decided long before the pain, long before the failure, long before my name. Oh, I don't walk in arrogance, I walk in what was given. I move like I'm chosen, because chosen is what I've been living. Yeah, it shifted in a season when I had nothing left to show. No results to validate me and no audience to know. Just me and the decision in the early morning cold. Do I believe what God said or believe what I've been told? I chose the former, barely by a thread, not by a leap. Started moving like the promise was already mine to keep. Not waiting to feel worthy, not waiting for the sign, just walking in the identity before it felt like mine. The training gave me language, the athlete doesn't wait to feel like a champion before he shows up to the way. He moves like the victory get built inside the work, and the feeling follows function even when it hurts. So I changed my posture first, shoulders back, eyes ahead, not performing for the people but rehearsing what God said. Started entering the rooms like I belong in everyone, not because I'm better, because the Father calls me son, and something in that shift changed what the rooms returned. The energy I carried was the energy I earned, not from achievement, not from status, not from being known, but from walking in an identity that wasn't mine alone. I move like I'm chosen, not because I've never been broken, because something was decided long before the pain, long before the failure, long before my name. I don't walk in arrogance, I walk in what was given. I move like I'm chosen, because chosen is what I've been living. You don't have to become chosen. You have to remember you already are. Ephesians 2:10. We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. He didn't make me average and then hope for something more. The greatness was the blueprint, not the ceiling, but the floor. Yeah, I spent the better part of my life arguing with the mirror, convinced that what I saw was all there was, nothing clearer. Average was my comfort zone because it felt like safety. If I never reached for more than failure couldn't break me. I watched potential rot inside the comfort of my ceiling, mistaken limitation for spiritual kind of healing. Called it humility, but it was really just my fear. Dressed in modest clothing so the cowardice looked sincere. I started stopping, started getting, never finished through. Sabotaged the runway every time the plane was due, because deep down I didn't trust that I deserved a height, and somewhere in the smallness I had made my peace. peaceful night. I remember praying, Lord, just let me get by. Not even asking for the mountain, just enough to survive. In the silence that came back felt like a gentle correction. Like God was saying, son, that prayer insults my intention. Because he didn't breathe his life in me for barely getting through. Didn't form me in the dark to do the minimum I do. Didn't write my name before the world began to spin, just to watch me shrink away from everything placed within. God put greatness in me, not for ego, not for show, not to stand above the others, but to help the others grow. It's a weight before it's a wings thing, a responsibility before it's a crown king thing. I can't bury what he buried in my bones. God put greatness in me, and I don't own it, I'm all alone. So I started treating discipline like an act of gratitude. Every early morning was a tithe of attitude. Every rep I pushed in silence was a form of thanks. For a body that still moves, for a mind that still ranks. I stopped waiting to feel ready and started moving in the giving. Because the gift don't activate by wishing and he's living. The talent in the ground don't grow by staying in the ground. You have to break the surface even when the soil's compound. The training showed me this, the muscle has potential, but potential without pressure stays entirely credential. The weight is what develops what was always already there. God put the fiber in the flesh, the work just makes it clear. So now I carry this like stewardship, not pride, something I was trusted with, not something I decide. The greatness is in mind, the flow in the mind, the waste away belongs to the one who placed it there before my very first day. Lord, hold me to the standard of the man you saw when you designed me, not the version that the fear ain't come for. Try to redefine me, let me grow into the fullness of the calling in the craft, and spend my life becoming what you meant when you first laughed. God put greatness in, not for ego, not for show, not to stand above the others, but to help the others grow. It's a weight before it's a wings thing, a responsibility before it's a crown king thing. I can't bury what he buried in my bones. God put greatness in me, and I don't own it, I'm all alone. The most rebellious thing you can do against your past is finally become what God always said you were.
Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The cage was never locked, I just believed that it was real. The smallest thing about me was the way I learned to feel. I grew up in a house where the ceiling was the sky, where dreaming past your zip code meant you had too much pride, where playing small was wisdom and ambition was a sin. So I learned to clip my wings before they ever caught the wind. The voices weren't all strangers, some of them were close. The ones who loved me most were sometimes limiting me most. Not out of malice, out of fear, they seen the world be cruel, so they built a smaller world and handed me the rules. I carried those dimensions into every room I entered, apologizing for my presence, keeping volume at the center, asking for permission just to take a mental space, negotiating with my own reflection for a place. I pray but keep the prayer small, Lord, just get me through. As if the God who made the cosmos had a limited view, as if the one who spoke the stars had bandwidth to conserve, as if my small request was all his greatness could deserve. And I stayed stuck, not sinning, not rebellious, just contained a life lived inside margins that my history had framed, until the pressure of the calling got too loud to stay inside, and something in me broke the border just to stay alive.
I don't think small anymore,
I can't go back to what I settled for.
the mind God gave me
Wasn't built for ball ceilings, the life he planned for me was built for bigger dealings.
I'm not the same man I was before the breaking,
I don't think small anymore,
and there's no mistaking.
The shift didn't come dramatic, it came slow and then it didn't. Like a muscle memory, reversing everything that limited. I started catching small thoughts like intruders at the door, naming them, rejecting them, and choosing something more. I write the vision bigger than it felt like I could hold. and sit inside the discomfort of a future that felt bold. Not arrogance, just practice, just retraining what I learned. Just giving God the canvas that His greatness had earned. The weight room gave me language when you always lift the same. The muscle hits a ceiling and the progress starts to wane. You have to have resistance, have to push beyond the known. Progressive overload is how the body's fully grown. Same principle in thinking, comfort zones don't stretch the mind. You have to pray for things that scare you just to see what's behind. You have to speak the vision before the vision has a face. You have to move like God already cleared and set the space. So I deleted small requests and started praying wide. Started asking for the nations, not just comfort on the side. Started building plans that needed God to even make them work. Plans too large for my ability, that's where the faith kicks first. Lord, don't let me shrink back to the size my past prescribed. Let my thinking match the territory you describe. Let me dream in the dimension of the God who called my name. Because the one who set the stars in place is not a God who thinks small, and neither am I again. I don't think small anymore. Oh, I can't go back to what I settled for. The mind God gave me wasn't built for borrowed ceilings. The life He planned for me was built for bigger dealings. I'm not the same man I was before the breaking. I don't think small anymore, and there's no mistaking. The moment you let God define your limits is the moment you discover you don't have any.
First Corinthians 9:27. I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others I myself should be disqualified. The crown nobody sees me wearing sits inside my routine. Every day I choose the hard thing. That's what royalty means. I used to live reactive, slave to every feeling I had. Eating when I wasn't hungry, sleeping when I should've been glad. Scrolling through the hours, spending energy I didn't earn. Saying yes to everything that felt good in the short term. I preached about the kingdom, but I couldn't rule my plate. Talked about the calling, but I couldn't manage being late. There was a war between the vision and the version of my days, and I was losing ground of comfort in 1,000 different ways. I set the alarm for 5 and hit it off at 6 and 7. Tell myself that rest was grace and laziness was heaven. Justify the shortcuts with theology I've been until the life I was describing and the life I live were different. And God didn't thunder at me, He just let me see the gap between the man I said I wasn't where I actually sat. The calling on my life required to carry a more refined, a vessel with instruction, not just passion and a rhyme.
Discipline is my crown,
not the loudest, but the one that holds when pressure comes down. Every early morning is a jewel I place with my hands. Every kept commitment is the mark of a man who stands. Nobody crowns you
for the private war.
You win in the dark, but discipline is my crown. And the stars before the start. I changed the way I thought about the ordinary heart. The alarm wasn't punishment, it was the opening of the yard. The meal I didn't want to eat, the session I resist. We're building something in me that no talent could assist. Because talent without structure is a gift that wastes itself. A song that no one hears because it's sitting on the shelf. The most anointed person in the room without the reps.
It's just potential in the body taking undisciplined steps. The weight room broke this open like a sermon in my chest. The bar doesn't care about your feelings, it just wants your best. It doesn't move for excuses, doesn't soften for your mood. It rewards the one who shows up and delivers on the truth. So I started treating every rep like it was sacred ground. Every set of discipline, a piece of royal crown. The prayer I prayed before the sun had reasons to be up. The word I read when I was tired, filling up my cup. I'm not disciplined because it's easy, I'm disciplined because I know the man I'm called to be requires more than what I was. Every no I tell my comfort is a yes to something higher. Every time I choose the grind, I'm mad it rings up to the fire. Lord, make me faithful in the structure of the unseen hours. Let the private match the public, let the root match all the flowers. Let my yes mean yes completely, and my no hold every test. Because the crown of discipline is worn by those who give their best.
Discipline is my crown.
Not the loudest, but the one that holds when pressure comes down.
Every early morning is a July.
Plays with my hands, every kept commitment is the mark of a man who stands. Nobody
Crowns you for the private war.
you win in the dark. Discipline is my crown, and it starts before the start. Every king who ever ruled something real first learned to rule himself.
Isaiah 40:31. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. I stopped trying to carry it myself, somewhere in the breaking. Yeah. The strength I walk with now isn't something I've been making. Yeah, there was a season I was running purely on my own reserves, grinding through the exhaustion like I had something to prove to the earth. Muscling through the hard things, white knuckling every climb, calling it resilience, but it was really just pride dressed fine. I thought that needed help was weakness in disguise, that strong men bore their burdens without tears behind their eyes. So I kept the tank on empty and kept moving anyway, performing strength for everyone while quietly breaking in the grave. The nights were when the armor finally came off in the silence, when the man behind the granite had to face his own defiance. I done it on myself and I was hollow at the core, strong on the outside, nothing left behind the door. I hit a wall so sudden that the impact shook my theology. Couldn't pray my way around it with my usual methodology. Fell to my knees, not dramatically, but desperately instead, and said, Lord, I have nothing left. Give me yours instead. I walk with heaven straight now. Not the kind of manufactured, not the kind that breaks down. Something underneath my feet that wasn't there before. Something in my spine that holds when I can't hold no more. It's not loud, it doesn't flex, it doesn't need to be seen. I walk with heaven straight, and I know what that means. Yeah. The shift was almost physical, like ballast in the chest, like someone took the weight I carried and redistributed it to stress. Not removed, redistributed, because the road was still the same, but I wasn't bearing it alone, and that changed everything about the strain. I learned the difference between human strong and heaven strong. Human strong is loud and brittle, cracks when pressure's long. Heaven strong is quiet, deep like bedrock under soil. Doesn't flex for the applause and doesn't crumble under toil. The training gave me language, the differences in the lip between the man who strains with ego and the man who works to give. One is grinding against limits, one is moving with the grain. One exhausts itself improving, one compounds itself through pain. I started praying differently, not forgot to clear the road, but for heaven's way beneath me as I carried heaven's load. Not asking for the easy, but the capable and true. The strength to do the hard thing with the power coming through. And I noticed how I enter rooms and change without my knowing. The pressure didn't rattle me the way it had been showing. Not because my life got simpler, it got harder if I'm real, but the source of what I stood on changed the texture of the feel. Lord, let the strength stay rooted in the place it came from. Let me never trade the heavenly for something I became from.
It was never mine to lose. I walk with heaven's strength now. Not the kind of manufactured, not the kind that breaks down. Something underneath my feet that wasn't there before. Something in my spine that holds when I can't hold no more. It's not loud, it doesn't flex, it doesn't need to be seen. I walk with heaven's strength, and I know what that means.
The strongest version of you is the one that finally stopped trying to be strong alone.
Romans 5:3-4. We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance.
Character.
In character, hope. The pressure didn't come to destroy me, it came to define me. I carry royal blood, and that changes everything behind me. I wanna be honest about how close I came to folding. The weight wasn't poetic when I was actually holding. It wasn't a metaphor, it was real and it was heavy. The kind of pressure that arrives before you're ready. Lost the income, lost the relationship, lost the narrative, lost the version of my future that I thought was definitive. Everything I built my confidence around got stripped, and I was standing in the rubble of the life I thought I gripped. I didn't feel like royalty, I felt like ruins. Felt like every prayer I prayed wasn't getting through the ceiling. Felt like God had gone quiet at the worst possible time, like I was screaming in an empty room and losing my mind. The enemy was surgical, he didn't attack the surface. He went after my identity, my calling and my purpose. Whispered you were never chosen, whispered this is who you are. A man who builds and loses, keeps on falling, never far. And I believed it partially because the pain felt like proof. Because when everything is crumbling, it's hard to hold the truth. I sat in that darkness longer than I want to admit, and somewhere in the silence, God reminded me of it. Pressure can't break royal blood. It can bend me, test me, cover me in mud, but there's something in my origin that pressure cannot reach. A lineage established long before the storm came for me. I've been bought, I've been sealed, I've been named by the King. Pressure can't break royal blood, it can't break anything. I started studying what pressure actually does. To the diamond, to the carbon, to the muscle, to the blood. Pressure is the process, not the punishment, the proof that what you made it can withstand the weight of truth. The diamond isn't weakened by the forces that create it. The pressure is the very thing that makes it what it stated. Same blood that raised the dead is running through my veins. Same spirit that moved on the water moves through every chain. The training showed me this in ways a sermon couldn't reach. The bar above your maximum is where the gains are each. You don't grow at comfortable, you grow at almost broken. The rep you almost didn't finish is the one that should be spoken. So I reframed every pressure season as a formation room, not a punishment chamber, but a character cocoon. The job I lost was clearing space for what I was assigned to. The relationship that ended was a mercy I was blind to. I came out of that season different in my density, more rooted in my origin, more clear in my identity. Not because the pressure stopped, it didn't, it ain't increased, but because I finally understood what pressure does to me. It reveals, it refines, it removes what shouldn't stay. It burns the temporary so the permanent can blaze. And what remains when everything that isn't real is gone is royal blood, still standing, still moving, still strong. Pressure can't break royal blood. It can bend me, test me, cover me in mud, but there's something in my origin that pressure cannot reach. A lineage established long before the storm came for me. I've been bought, I've been sealed, I've been named by the King. Pressure can't break royal blood. It can't break anything. What the pressure was trying to destroy was actually the proof of what I'm made of. Psalm 18:34. He trains my hands for battle, so that my arms can bend the bow of bronze. I didn't wake up ready, I was trained into this.
Every scar on these hands.
Every scar on these hands is a lesson I didn't miss.
I remember when my hands were just for holding on, gripping at the edges when the ground was almost gone. Not building, not creating, just surviving every fall. White knuckling and nothing, barely making it at all. I wanted the result, but I was allergic to the process. Wanted the anointing without walking through the office. Wanted David's victory, but not David's lonely field. 1,000 nights of practice nobody sees before the deal. I was gifted, but ungoverned fire with no direction. Potential without structure is just energy without connection. I burned bright in the moment and faded in the grind, cause brilliance without discipline will always fall behind. I pray for open doors while neglecting what I carry, asking God to use these hands while keeping them a Mary. To the daily work, the boring reps, the unremarkable routine, the sacred in the ordinary that I couldn't seem to see. I wanted God to hand me skill without the cost of earning. Forgot that even Jesus spent years in the woodshop learning. Forgot that preparation is the form that calling takes before the world sees what you built for. God builds what it takes.
God taught my hands to win.
Not overnight, through seasons thick and thin,
Through the reps nobody watched,
in the nights nobody clapped, through the failures that refined me, and the losses that gave back. These hands know how to carry what they couldn't carry before. God
taught my hands to win.
He's still teaching me more, yeah. The turning point was learning that the training was the calling, not a bridge or something greater. It wasn't self, the falling, and the purpose in the formation into becoming who I need to be. When the moment came that only I could lead, I started treating every session like it mattered in eternity. Every early morning rep was building something internally. The hands that push the iron learn a language without words of discipline, and showing up the transfers and transfers. Because what the body learning, pressure becomes instinct under fire. The muscle memory of faithfulness is what takes you higher. You don't rise to the occasion, you fall to your training, and the level of your preparation is the level you're maintaining. So now I work in silence with a different kind of hunger, not to prove a point to people, but to honor what's been under. Every gift God placed inside me before I knew his name requires my cooperation to develop and to claim. I'm not just working harder, I'm working with intention. Every skill I build in private is an act of intercession. Lord, these ain't belong to you, use them for the war, shake them for the work, the weight, the word you have in store. Got us by the training, got it by the calling, steady in the pressure, faithful in the falling. I don't need the perfect moment, I don't need the perfect plan, I just need to show up ready. God will honor ready hands.
God taught my hands to win.
Not overnight, through seasons thick and thin, through the reps
Nobody watched,
in the nights nobody clapped, through the failures that refined me, and the losses that gave back. These hands know how to carry what they couldn't carry before. God
taught my hands to win.
and he's still teaching me more. The hands God uses most are the ones that stayed in training when no one was watching. Mark 10, 43, 44. Whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. The greatest leaders I have known were never in the front. They were building in the background, carrying the brunt. Yeah, I'll be honest, I wanted to be seen for what I carried. Wanted the acknowledgement to come before the work was buried. Needed the applause to validate the sacrifice I made. Without the recognition, I would start to feel afraid. I live with insecurity dressed up as confidence, needing people's eyes on me to feel the difference between a man of purpose and a man just going through. And when the spotlight shifted, I didn't know what to do. I worked so hard in public and do just enough in private. The performance was the product, I was living to recite it. And God let me have that season, let me taste the shallow water. Let me build on sand until the first storm made it harder. Because everything I built for eyes came down on when eyes moved on. The platform that I needed wasn't strong enough to stand on, and I was left with just myself. No audience, no stage, just a man who didn't know his worth without the page that broke something open that I didn't know was closed. The hunger for approval was a wound I'd never exposed. And God said, son, the leader that I'm building doesn't need the room to validate the call or water every seed. I lead without needing attention, move without needing the mission. The work I do at midnight, when the crowd is gone to sleep, is the truest form of leadership. It's mine alone to keep. I don't and that's how I've grown. The shift came when I stopped performing and started serving. Stopped calculating who was watching and what I was deserving. Started showing up in rooms when nothing was returning. No exposure, no reward, just faithfulness discerning. I watch how water leads, it never makes an announcement. It doesn't ask for credit for the rivers and the mountains. It just flows to where it's needed, takes the lowest ground, and somehow shapes the landscape without making a sound. The training gave me this, the coach who shaped me most was never on the podium and never loved to boast. He corrected in the quiet, he invested in the back. He led by being present in the spaces I lack. That's the motto God was showing me through every humble season. Service without audiences, leadership with reason. The man who needs the spotlight hasn't finished being formed. The man who leads in darkness is the man the storm is forged. So now I'm measuring influence by depth and not by wit. By the person standing stronger, not the size of every gift. I lead the one in front of me with everything I have. Not saving energy for stages pouring out in the lab. Lord, keep me free from needing what you never said I needed. Keep my leadership from dying when the audience has receded. Let me be the kind of man who shows up for the unwitnessed and leads with quiet power. That's the calling I've been given. I lead without needing attention. Move without needing the mention. The work I do at midnight when the crowd is gone to sleep is the truest form of leadership. It's mine alone to keep. I don't need the credit, don't need to be known. I lead without needing attention, and that's how I've grown. Hey! The most secure leader in the room is the one who doesn't need the room to know he's leading. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. He didn't design me for the floor, he designed me for the field. The life I've been accepting isn't everything he sealed. Yeah, I settled so long that settling started feeling like peace. Mistook the absence of the fire for the presence of release. I watched the years go by inside a life that fit too small, like wearing someone else's clothes and calling in my call. I had a good job, stable, safe, predictable and fine, but fine is just another word for slowly dying inside. Every morning felt mechanical, every night felt incomplete. A hunger with no language that I couldn't seem to beat. I told myself to be grateful, and gratitude is real, but gratitude was never meant to silence what you feel. When God puts something bigger in your chest than where you are, contentment isn't killing it, contentment is the scar. I prayed small prayers and got small answers and called it God's will, but really I was frightened of the altitude and thrill of stepping into something that required more than me, of trusting that the calling was as real as I could see. The enemy did tempt me with the obvious and loud. It just made the small life comfortable and wrapped it in a shroud of reasonable excuses, and the wisdom sounded fear. And I almost missed the bigger thing while being comfortable here.
I'm built for more than this.
More than comfortable, more than the safe and the dismissed.
There's a calling with my name on it that's wider than my fear.
A purpose that was written before I even got here. I'm not
settling, I'm not shrinking, I'm not staying in this lane.
I'm built for more, and I will never think small again. Yeah. The shift came like a fraction, slow and incompletely. A conversation, then a moment, then God speaking deeply, asking me to name the dream I buried under logic. The thing I stopped believing it because it felt too cosmic. And when I said it out loud for the first time in the open, something in the atmosphere cracked like it had been frozen, like the words themselves that weight that they've been waiting to release. And the God who heard me didn't laugh, he said, now that's the piece. I started training for the version of the life I couldn't see yet, preparing for a harvest from a field that wasn't planted yet, building skill in silence for a stage that had no date, moving like the calling was already in a confirmed state. Because faith isn't waiting, faith is moving before they answer. Faith is training for the race before they call you at the dancer. Faith is writing the first chapter of the book with empty hands. Faith is breaking ground in winter, always spring will understand. The body never builds beyond the stimulus you give it. You grow to the demand, so raise the demand and live it. Same truth in the spirit, your capacity expands when you stop praying safe prayers and put everything in God's hands. So I burn a smaller version, not in anger but in grief. Grieve the years I spent inside a life below belief. Then rose with a new hunger, with a different kind of ache. Not for comfort and for safety, but for everything instead.
I'm built for more than this.
More than comfortable, more than the safe and the dismissed.
There's a calling with my name on it that's wider than my fear.
A purpose that was written before I even got here. I'm not
Settling, I'm not shrinking, I'm not staying in this lane.
I'm built for more, and I will never think small again. The saddest thing isn't failing at something great, it's succeeding at something too small.
Revelation 4:10-11. The elders fall down before him and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, "You are worthy, our Lord and God, to receive glory and honor and power." Everything I built,
Everything I built,
everything I earned,
everything I earned,
everything I wore,
everything I wore
was always meant to be laid down at his door. Yeah, yeah. I wanna be honest about the war inside the winning, about how success can quietly become its own beginning of a story where the hero slowly shift from God to me, where the testimony starts to sound like my biography. I've been in rooms where the applause felt like it belonged, where the credit landed on my name and I just let it stay too long. Hey, yeah. Getting corrected in the moment, told myself it was okay, that God knew what was in my heart and that was enough to say. But the heart is complicated when the lights are on your face, when the recognition feels like confirmation of your place. I felt the pride rise up in me like heat beneath the skin, and smiled on the outside while I was worshiping within. I worshiping the statue, not some obvious display, just slowly building altars to my name along the way. Every speech out of a compliment, every number that I track was a tiny crown I placed on me instead of giving back. And God is patient, patient like a father watching close, who lets you wear the thing a while until you feel the ghost of emptiness inside the crown that sits on borrowed bone, until you finally understand this never was your own. The crown belongs to God, not to my discipline, my grind, my name, my squad. Every victory I carried was His doing from the start. Every gift inside my hand was formed inside His heart. I lay it down, not out of loss, but out of knowing the crown belongs to God. And that's where it was always going. There's a freedom I discovered at the bottom of surrender, when I stopped holding tightly to the titles and the tenure, when I walked into the room without the need to be acknowledged, and found that I was light and found a peace inside the honest. I think about the elders in the vision casting crowns, not reluctantly, not painfully, they threw their glory down. Cause in the presence of the one who authored every story, there's nothing left to hold on to, you just wanna give Him glory. The training gave me language, the athlete at his peak, who breaks the world record, breaks down crying as he speaks. Not because the moment broken, but because he finally sees how much was given, how much carried, how much wasn't just him or me. That's the posture God is building in me season after season, teaching me to hold the gift without making it the reason for my identity, my movement, my work, my daily drive. The crown was never what I was, it's just what God provides. So I wear it differently now, like something held in trust, like a steward, not an owner, like a man who knows it must be returned to where it came from at the closing of the day. Every crown I've ever carried was on loan anyway. Lord, receive the thing I've been most tempted to keep for myself, the reputation, the results, the recognition, and the wealth. Take the platform and the influence and the skill within my hands. The crown was always yours, I'm just returning what I am. The crown belongs to God, not to my discipline, my grind, my name, my squad. Every victory I carried was His doing from the start. Every gift inside my hands was formed inside His heart. I lay it down, not out of loss, but out of knowing the crown belongs to God. And that's where it was always going. I moved like I was chosen, because God put greatness in me, and I stopped burying it. I built with discipline, I walked with heaven's strength, I led without needing the room to see me. I was built for more, and I went after it, but none of it, not one piece.
belonged to me. It was all on loan from the one who started this. And so I give it back. Every crown, every win, every scar, back to the one who made them mean something. The greatest thing I ever did was learn whose hands the crown belongs in.